my 20s, I was wild. I drank, I smoked, I went out all the time, I stayed up really late. Damn. And you know what? I don't regret any of it at all. Here's the thing, right? And this is gonna be our first lesson here. Is you live, you learn, you move past it. It's all experience, right? If you don't risk it for the biscuit, if you don't go out, if you don't do all these things that you're told not to do, then how are you gonna learn from the things you're not supposed to do? You need to first experience things in order to learn from them, right? So I would say don't be so hard on yourself when it comes to going out and taking some big risks with in regards to participating in behaviors that are normally frowned upon. Because if you don't take part in those actions, then you'll never truly know what you like, what you don't like, and you won't learn valuable life lessons. Like, shoot, I can't tell you how many times I've drank and have woken up the next morning and thought to myself, man, this really sucks. I am so hungover and I can't do anything right now. I am incapacitated. Why did I do this to myself? But I would have never gotten to that point if I never tried it, if I never did it. You know, I know it sounds a little silly because that kind of stuff sucks, but you're not going to learn anything by being shelled up, by just following along the actions that you think are right, that society deems is right, and that are the right things to do. You need to make a couple of mistakes in order to, you know, build your experience, make yourself a more experienced, more knowledgeable person, a more seasoned person. So now moving past that, number 2, I would say, is to take your time, right? So here's my story. I went to a very rigorous high school. The curriculum was it was pretty intense, and one of the requirements, one of the prerequisites in order to graduate from that high school was to get accepted into a college, a 4-year college or university, and to attend said 4-year college or university. Basically, if you weren't accepted, admitted, then you weren't graduating, which is a little wild because you have a lot of options out there. You don't just strictly have to go to college. You can start your own business, you can pick up a trade, you can just take a year off in general to travel, you know, get to know yourself a little bit better, get to know yourself in different environments a little bit better. So if I were to suggest anything after high school, it would be to just, you know, take your time, and not just after high school, but just in general. If you're not certain about what you're doing, then take your time with it, explore some things. You don't have to be absolutely signed up for a certain major or degree where you're not even sure if that's what you truly like. It just sounded cool, your guidance counselor told you it was cool, your family members are telling you that it's a good career, but what do you know? You're young. You were so young. You were just beginning to create your life. So I think that's valuable to understand, is that you should take your time. All right, there's no rush. Just relax, figure yourself out first, and then you can go ahead and pursue your career, make some big endeavors, that kind of thing. Lesson number 3 would be, don't worry about what other people think of you. So when we grow up, especially fresh out of high school, we're worried a lot about being popular, being liked, being accepted by others, whether that be your peers, your family, anyone really. You're kind of just looking for approval. And the thing is, a lot of those people don't know what it is to be compassionate about other people, be empathetic with other people. That's what I'm looking for. Be empathetic enough to understand that person's situation, right? So let's say that you really wanted to create a YouTube channel and you're a little skeptical about it because you're not getting support from other people, and you're worried about other people judging you, you're worried about being embarrassed, you're worried about being a failure. Well, how are you going to know until you do it? And who's going to be backing you up? If nobody else is, it's you. You yourself are going to be backing yourself up. So it's important to not worry about what other people think of you, because it could really deprive you of opportunities that are just passing you by. You know, we tend to think on our feet a lot. And what I mean by that is that our thinking is very sporadic. We get these random thoughts, random ideas, and sometimes we run with them, sometimes we don't. But it's important to know that if an idea manifests itself, that you should consider pursuing it. I don't think that it's fair to you to remain muffled just because of what other people think of you, you know? So I think that's important, is to not worry about what others think of you, because then you're going to be trying to live up to somebody else's expectations, and that's just not realistic, and that's not fun. That's not fair to you as a person, as an individual. That is something that you most certainly do not want to do, because you're going to clip your wings. You're never going to grow. You're going to know why the caged bird sings. And that actually is a good segue to number 4, is you're going to lose friends. You're going to lose connections with people that you may have known for years, and that's just how life is. You know, you're going to lose friends and you're going to meet friends. You're going to lose people, you're going to meet people, right? So don't get so caught up in pleasing people just because you want to stay their friend, because you never know. In a couple of years' time, you may not even know them anymore. So I think it's important that we consider we need to be selfish at the end of the day. We need to be selfish. If a relationship is one-sided and you are trying to sustain said relationship, you're going to burn yourself out. Especially if the other person doesn't really care about your relationship, then it's not going to last. And you're just sitting there putting yourself out there, and you're going to keep getting hurt continuously. So don't worry about those kind of relationships where they're one-sided. I would say try to find an opportunity to give them up, or see if the other person mutually genuinely wants to make it work. But you're going to lose friends. You're going to meet new people. Right now, this moment, some nights are just a thread in the blanket of life, right? You go out, you meet a whole bunch of people, you're like, these are going to be my friends forever, bro. Trust me when I tell you, that's happened to me a lot, and I don't even remember a lot of those people. So it is what it is, right? Number 5 is to be present. This applies even now, you know, that I'm past my 20s. I think it's important for me to stay present, and I think it's important for everybody else to stay present. So you gotta live in the moment, whether that be going to a party and having fun and doing all these crazy things, or whether it just be you having a moment of mindfulness where you're going on a walk and you're appreciating the scenery, you're appreciating the clouds, you're appreciating the sky, you're appreciating the present moment, just being there. That includes times with your friends, you know. Sometimes you have especially when I was in college, I had a really nice big group of friends, and I was always trying to live in the moment, and when I wasn't, it was very frustrating to me, because it's like, why am I not enjoying this right now? Why am I stuck in my head about how I failed this exam, or how I don't know what I'm going to do next year, and as far as my career goes? It's all gonna work out, you know. It's not something that you're gonna resolve in one little night where you're out with your friends. So make sure you're present in your moments, and be thankful, be grateful for the fact that you're still in your 20s, bro. You're so young. You have a whole life ahead of you. Don't you worry, child. Everything's gonna be good, okay? So that's it. Live, learn, move past it. Take your time. Don't worry about what others think of you. You're gonna lose friends, and be present. That's 5. I think those are pretty solid 5 core things that you should know from me, okay? I've said a lot, but I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming. Like, subscribe, comment, give me some feedback, and I hope to see y'all again in the next video. Have a good day. Be easy. Peace.